Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I got an update on Link2's tournament they're doing. It says on Link2 platform, Kraken and Epic Games were the bracket winners on Monday, and moving on into Link2 investment tournament. Today's Link2 investment brackets are Circle versus Impossible Foods. Let me see, I think it's up here. Yeah, Circle versus Impossible Foods, Anthropic versus Expansive. Along with any specials that may be announced on any of these four companies today, there will be additional 10% discount on all Circle investments. Also, the Link2 3-company bundles are becoming very popular, allowing members who would like to invest $7,500 and get exposure to 3 different companies. Today's 3-company bundle investment is Circle, Uphold, and Light Matter. The Circle within the bundle will also be discounted at 10%. So now you know. And down here you'll see Kraken and Epic Games won that first round. Okay, Fruition Productions, new interview. The guys from Sologenic. This is Fabio. I'm trying to remember Fabio's, it doesn't have his last name, but anyway, I've met Fabio. And then these guys, I don't know the other guy, but from the looks of this, they are filming in Hollywood because that is the Hollywood Hills. I have been there a couple of times over the last few years. In fact, I really enjoy going to California. California is one of my favorite places. I just don't like the California taxes. Okay, Las Vegas selling out fast. XRP Las Vegas. Last year it sold out. It's coming in May 3rd to May 4th in 2024 is when XRP Las Vegas is. You can get your tickets here. I even took one of the graphics from The Hangover and added XRP. This is the scene where he's doing the takeoff on what was the Dustin Hoffman movie with Tom Cruise? I'm drawing a blank. I'll think of it probably after this video. But anyway, he was at the poker table or the blackjack table counting cards, and that was a funny scene. And here's your link to get tickets if you haven't already. And here is Fiat Leak. We went up, yesterday I think XRP went up as high as 74 or 75 cents, and then it pulled back as things do. But what's interesting is it didn't pull back a crazy amount. So this morning when I woke up, it was like at around 69 cents. It's acting like it wants to do a little bit of moving. Let's look at coin market cap here and see what things look like. You got a 92 extreme greed index, and it shows 69 cent here. Fiat Leak usually is a leading indicator from what I've seen. Here's an interesting tweet. XRP making moves. Price was up, I think it was up 18 to 25% in 24 hours yesterday. Market volume up by 143%. Social media creators up by 17%. I guess that's people putting out social media posts on XRP. No, maybe that's that. Social post up 18%. Social interactions up 60%. Those are interesting numbers. eGrag Crypto, XRP Bull's next task. Previous task was partially achieved. What we need now is for XRP not to close below 66 or 65 cents. The next bull task is to bounce range. This will propel the fib 0.61, 94 cents. Retrace then above $1. Stay steady. It will be a fast blast, a fast XRP blast. That is a thumbnail. Thank you, eGrag Crypto with today's, what just happened? Official thumbnail. XRP Fast Blast. I like that. Never used that one on a thumbnail. I like it. Okay. Then we've got this. The XRP road to $16. Listen to this. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Let me hit the refresh button. We can't stall up in the middle of a show. There's millions of dollars spent on this production every day. Just kidding. There's like zero.
What we've actually got here is the new target. Now you can see that this could indeed be a highly momentous triggering event. And when we do 76, if we do it on balance of probabilities, that will actually make our first interim, which is at around, wait for it, 75 odd cents, 75, 73 cents. Isn't that awesome? Confluence of levels. What will you get? A little bit of pullback. Everyone who doesn't have HVF method will say he's wrong, it's reversing. But then we move up to the 90s, 92 cents as a second interim. Again, a little bit of a pullback. Maybe not so much momentum. And then if we get up here, this is where we're looking, guys. 132. Now you're going, hey, that ain't $16. You said $16. No, it's the small little domino knocking over the middle-sized domino that's now giving us a level that will give us our third high we needed for the macro setup on XRP to run $16, $17. And that'll be absolutely superb, and I think you'll enjoy it rather.
Absolutely superb. That's a thumbnail too. Because it would be. Absolutely superb. I'm ready. Then we've got this. Yesterday when the market surged, Brad Garlinghouse tweeted this out. Bitcoin ETF volumes have been soaring. We're due for a halving, and the broader crypto market is following BTC's lead, as has historically been the case. As someone who has experienced multiple cycles of crypto is back, it's imperative this bullishness go hand in hand with real-world utility. That's the real and inevitable march of progress. Ooh, we just happened to be in March. I wonder if he was trying to say anything. And then we've got this. Kraken Exchange replied to Brad's tweet and said, buckle up, this year could get interesting. And Brad Garlinghouse liked it. Buckle up. That is also a potential thumbnail. And that's good stuff there. We like that. Okay. Now, Anthony Pompliano was on, as they do. They were giving Anthony Pompliano the setup. But I did want you to hear about the supply and demand.
Yeah, explain to the audience
on Bitcoin. I wanted you to hear this explanation.
What it is. So we have here the last time it happened. You can.
The reason I want to explain this to you is because I believe all of this has been timed by Wall Street, the media they control, the pundits like Pompliano that I believe they control, all of that. Okay, and so I believe these things are significant from that standpoint.
Where Bitcoin was like a 10 grand, sort of, now we're at 70,000. Seems like it could be a good thing.
Let's go back, supply and demand. Right? If you have a supply and demand stays constant, but supply gets cut in half, obviously the price has to adjust to accommodate everyone. That's what happened back here in 2020. Bitcoin was trading about $8,000. We got a supply that cut in half, and then obviously price runs. Now, what's interesting is right now, 900 Bitcoin per day are being produced. If you think in kind of gold terms, that's literally gold being dug out of the ground. This is Bitcoin being produced. It's net new Bitcoin coming into supply. But when we hit this halving occur, we're going to go from 900 to 450. Now, what's interesting is right now, there is the equivalent of 9,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin per day in demand. So already we're at 10x more demand than supply. That's this huge price increase that we've seen. So once we go through this halving, if demand stays the same, we may be at 20 to 25x more demand than what the network is producing every single day. And I think that's why people are so bullish on Bitcoin's price.
And the max will be 21 million, right?
There will only ever be 21 million that are out in circulation. That'll take until 2140. Unfortunately, for most of us that are watching or talking right now, we're going to be dead by then. But 90% of the Bitcoin is already out in circulation, and about 70% of that Bitcoin has not moved. So what ends up happening is you have a very illiquid supply, and then you're going to get it more scarce in terms of the daily incoming supply.
That's what they mean when they say diamond hand.
Okay, enough of that. Now, this was an interesting clip. This is Peter Schiff, who's been anti-Bitcoin and pro-gold for a long time. And before I show you this, I want to remind you, he's referring to gold 2.0. Central banks have been accumulating gold. The mainstream media and the mainstream crypto media have been sending everybody towards Bitcoin ETFs. The holy grail is tokenized gold. I bet dimes to donuts the plan is to tokenize all central bank gold as the financial system is reset. How would one go about tokenizing gold? Not on Bitcoin, you can't. stablecoin legislation is coming, or is it tokenization legislation?
The best thing is to tokenize gold, right? So if you want the best of both worlds, if you want gold 2.0, modern day gold, digital gold, you take real gold and you tokenize it and you put it on a blockchain, and now I can send my gold around the world instantly for nothing, and we can transact in it. So gold, by using modern technology, is far better as a medium of exchange than it ever was. It's easier to use gold as money now than before Bitcoin came on the scene. The future of money is still gold. Gold with blockchain, that's gold 2.0, not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is tulip mania 2.0. The best thing is to...
I'm not saying that Bitcoin is not going to be around for a long time. I'm just saying that if you had a token that represented that would prove your ownership in X amount of gold, it'd be game over. All right. I wrote up here, I'm used to the Bitcoin Ethereum pump by the mainstream and crypto media. The addition of Solana illustrates the shamelessness of these people. It's the same Bitcoin Ethereum playbook by the same people we've watched for the last 5 years. I'd love to get my hands on the talking points these people must circulate.
I like making these predictions because both people like you and I up over the head with it and said, why didn't it happen?
Yes, I've made a lot of wrong predictions, which is why I want you to be wrong as well. Misery loves company, Raul.
So as long as people accept that I am going to be 100% wrong, I'm kind of thinking Bitcoin finishes this cycle closer to 250,000. I think a lot of people are lower. I think it might be higher because of the dynamics of the ETF and other stuff. I'm pegging Ethereum between 15 and 20,000. And I'm pegging Solana between 750 and 1,000.
Wow. Okay, that's a big move for Solana.
Yeah, so I think it's the relative outperform. So my view is Bitcoin starts the cycle and outperforms in the start. Then people go out the risk curve. ETH. We're going to have an ETH ETF. We'll see the market pick up there.
Right.
But the horse that's moving faster is the one that's coming from a smaller adoption base. It moves faster.
Okay. So now, folks, I wanted to show, he mentioned the ETH ETF. This is Matt Corva, who is the, he's an attorney at Consensus. But many of you will remember Matt Corva is also one of the guys that was involved in it during ETHgate. He was the Consensus attorney back then. And he's named in the, which I'll show you in a minute, down here after he tweeted this, he's basically giving you his personal thoughts on a potential ETH ETF. Well, Stefan Huber, Mr. Huber, comes in, he says, you are part of the biggest running criminal scheme in crypto. This is from the lawsuit against JP Morgan, Lubin, Corva. I don't know who's named in the lawsuit, but I know it's Lubin and JP Morgan. I don't know if Corva was named. JP Morgan played a pivotal role in Lubin's scheme. Lubin, Corva, JP Morgan, and Umar Farouk, JP Morgan's then global head of blockchain and now member of Consensus board of directors, negotiated for many months leading up to the planned asset transfer. Negotiations started at least in the first quarter of 2020, possibly earlier. But Lubin built his business on a lie. These are out of the lawsuit. I'm not making it up. To siphon off millions of dollars from the plaintiff and his company for Lubin's personal use. There are other actions filed and pending against Lubin, Consensus too numerous to list here, include a group of investors and former employees who have alleged improprieties with, among other things, $39 million personal loan between Lubin and Consensus. And of course, we have the disguised whales video there. Then we've got this, and this, folks, I saw this come across yesterday evening, and I hit the record button because, as usual, you know, this is China-backed Prometheum, Wang Zhang-backed Prometheum, and the CEO, his name is Aaron Kaplan. And this listen is just as uncomfortable. There's nothing about this Prometheum thing that makes any sense. And you just get the EBGBs every time you listen to this guy. Listen again.
Talk to me about how you're viewing Ether. Is Ether a security in the eyes of Prometheum?
Prometheum believes that the overwhelming majority of digital assets are securities. Almost every smart contract-based network, investment-based network token has real features of a investment contract, and therefore it likely qualifies as a security.
Okay, I have to ask you about this piece on the Ether conversation. I'm sure you know CFTC Chairman Rostin Benem told the House Committee on Agriculture on Wednesday that Bitcoin and Ether are commodities, and that any claim that your company, Prometheum, is making to the contrary is actually not reflective of the SEC's stance. Any response here?
Chairman Benem is the chairperson of the CFTC. We understand that thought process. Our regulator is the SEC, and the chairperson of the SEC has said that they view the overwhelming majority of digital assets as securities. So we will comply with the regulators, and our regulator is the SEC, and we believe that whatever the SEC says, we will be compliant and proceed with.
Have you spoken to Gensler about his stance on Ether, or maybe I shouldn't
Words mean things, folks. Watch the way he answers this.
single out Gensler, but have you spoken to anyone at the SEC about their stance on Ether?
I've not spoken to Chairman Gensler about their stance on Ether. I've never actually spoken to Chairman Gensler.
Yeah, but he doesn't expound all that and say, but I have spoken to, I don't know, Valerie Chapinick at the SEC or somebody else.
How do you determine whether or not Ether is a security and then listed on the platform?
Our point of contact is our regulator, which is the self-regulatory organization that our broker-dealers are regulated by, which is FINRA, and essentially based on how our licensing work and the procedures we have to do some sort of investment contract analysis to make a determination, and we are confident in our analysis.
Man, every time I watch him, he reminds me of someone who has been prepped by their attorney to give a deposition, and he's been prepped for hours so that he can regurgitate all these BS lines. That's what I think every time I see him. And then there's this from Matt Walsh. New Prometheum just dropped. The SEC's poster child for regulatory compliance is on thin ice. On Friday p.m., the company buried a filing for their Ember ATS entity that shows an increasingly precarious financial state. $468,000 cash despite a $5.1 million injection from the parent company. No revenue, no customers, owners willing to support for 1 year from filing statement date. Anyone checked in with the Chinese owners? Sounds like a difficult place to attract and retain talent, especially when you are telling the world that ETH is a security. But don't worry, you get stock and token options. What the F does that mean? Congress Richie Torres appears to have been spot on, saying that Prometheum appears to be nothing more than a Potemkin platform operating as a timely talking point for crypto critics rather than a true trading platform for crypto customers. This whole story continues to be a charade and a total waste of taxpayer dollars. And Ryan Selkis says very legit and very cool. Everybody smells a rat on this one. We're going to go into DAIXRP.com, and there are some ominous tweets going on out there, folks, and I'm going to go over some thoughts on that. Everybody's buzzing about what I'm about to show in DAIXRP.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that in DAIXRP.com, I'm going to go over what everybody this morning seems to be texting me about. Man, I don't know what to make of this. Here we go.